us. Beauty day. There's no bugs. It's too cold, I think. Good morning. It is day 22 of our adventure, and it looks like the winds have broken for the most part, although it is still pretty windy, as the wind kind of almost blew my tent away when I was trying to take it down. But nothing like the ripping winds we were experiencing yesterday with the huge waves and all that fun stuff that forced us to get to shore and make camp. So yeah, we're going to be able to skate past this wide section of the Seal River that you see behind us and get back into a narrower part of the river where we'll be more blocked from the wind. And when I say narrower, the river is still really wide everywhere because it's a massive river. We do have multiple whitewater rapids to run again today, and we are only 40 kilometers from the coast. There is a shack at the coast where we're gonna wait our boat pickup, which will take us to Churchill, where we're gonna catch a train that'll take us back to Thompson, where we left our vehicle, on the interesting logistical outlay of this expedition. But we're thinking that maybe if we make good time today, we might actually just shoot for the coast and bang off 40K. That would put us at the coast in the shack there early, but the shack also has protection. There's nails hammered in from the outside, so the whole thing's like spiked on the outside, and that's because of polar bears. There's a real polar bear danger here, and we figure it's probably safest if we're going to be on the coast and camped on the coast to be in this shack, because it's literally made for people to be able to be protected from polar bears while they wait boat pickups or while they're, you know, camping whatever along the coast. It's an important safety thing. So I think we're going to try to do that. I don't know for sure if we'll make it today. It really depends on what we're faced with. That wouldn't give us, that would, you know, put us ahead of schedule for a while, and we'd be sort of held up in this shack for a while. But it might be really cool because more of a chance of seeing a polar bear from a safe area, chances of seeing beluga whales, and just being right on the Hudson Bay is pretty cool. So anyways, we'll see what we have to do. We'll see if we can make it, I guess. And yeah, it turned out to be kind of a neat campsite. Just camped right here on the Tundra last night, and we really enjoyed it actually in the end. Pretty flat area, had a little fire for dinner, and it was pretty fun. So even though it was sort of impromptu campsite. It turned out to be pretty nice. Bit of a walk to the flat spot from the boats, but that's all right. It's not like we were doing much when we were sitting around Windbound anyways. So yeah,
tell them why no trees grow on this.
Yeah, so this is tundra. You can see tundra in the alpine sometimes when you get past the tree line in elevation, but in northern Canada there are large swaths of tundra. For example, the barren grounds, which we are getting close to right now. And the tundra is created by permafrost that never melts. So trees can't grow because if you dig far enough past the layer of sod into the earth here, you just hit ice. And that permafrost prevents the growth of any trees because the ground just stays frozen all the time. You'll see little patches of trees here and there. As you get further north, there are just basically no trees. But you'll see little patches here and there of trees that you know, have found areas where there isn't as much permafrost, and you know, but for the most part we're in the tundra right now, which is pretty cool. Definitely a change from the dense forest of earlier on in the trip. They've slowly been getting thinner and thinner. So a tree that Ted cut for firewood, which was about this big around, it was a dead tree, and we counted the growth rings and it was nearly 100 years old, which is amazing. So anyways, we're going to pack up and yeah, get breakfast, get coffee going, and hit the river and see if we can't finish the seal today. Not finish the expedition. We have a potentially perilous boat ride on tempestuous Hudson Bay, which, you know, might be just a dream and smooth sailing, we don't know. So we still have a ways to go, a train ride and an enormous drive, but we have an you know, epic little bit of river to finish, and if we can finish today, that will be means to celebrate, which we'll have to do by toasting with water because we ran out of booze weeks ago. Yeah.
We've done like one all trip.
I think no, we've done two.
We are on the water. Beautiful day. The flies have decided that it's also a beautiful day, so they have returned. And we got some flat water to paddle before we get into the rapids, which is kind of nice. You get a little bit of a warm up. Oh, maybe I'll do some stretching. Oh, I'm sore.
Unbeknownst to me, I lost my rod. Maybe I just left it back at the last camp, my lighter weight rod I was using. Or maybe it just came unclipped from my spray deck in a rapid, I don't know. Fairly devastating, but that's why you bring two.
Dude, we only have 30 kilometers to go, not 40.
30?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, we've already done 10K.
Yeah, banged off 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious. Maybe like 34, I don't know.
Yeah. So aren't there pictographs at the Prayer Rock?
I don't know, I think you would have said that.
There's a prayer rock here, basically a sacred site, indigenous site. So we're gonna check it out. Our river notes here stay specifically to leave tobacco. So we're gonna do that because it might be a good thing, because immediately after that, the river drops an enormous amount over several thundering rapids. So we need all the help we can get. Oh, I just rounded this point that we could not for the life of us make it around in the wind yesterday, and I see a beach, very inviting beach, which looks like there's probably a nice flat spot by the water that we could have camped at, but literally we just couldn't make it there yesterday. At the point is where we had to turn back and battle all kinds of waves. Crazy. You know, Prayer Rock might be like up
Over
there.
Well, that's also where the tundra is. This wasn't really
Maybe
tundra.
we just walk here and then we just break through this line of trees and it's all tundra behind this line of trees.
We should just do that now.
Yeah.
This sucks here.
Yeah.
We're just way up from the river here, hiking into
I think I see it.
Prayer Rock.
Here's some tundra out here. I think I see it. This is ice damage in here.
Wow.
Crazy. Just this tree battered, like, you know, like there's the river now and we're like way up here.
Smashing this tree and rubbing against the tree from current.
There it is.
Pretty cool, just walking along here, just imagining the Dene coming through and using this as a navigational marker to help navigate across the tundra.
The river in a lot of places has a narrow lining of trees along it where the soil is good and where the permafrost is deeper, but as soon as you get back from the river, we are in pure tundra country. And if you get a little bit further north too, you won't see a single tree. And once we're on the Hudson Bay coast, there will be no trees there either. And there is Prayer Rock. We found it. It was used by Dene travelers as a beacon to help them navigate across the tundra.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
This is a great navigational thing for sure.
Beacon, yeah.
You kind of know where you were and
Yeah.
whatever, like exactly in the landscape.
In winter
Caribou
especially.
trails through here, right?
Cool.
So we're going to leave tobacco here. So we actually have some, and we are going to leave it.
Well, probably would have been better off to pull over there. Probably could have seen it from the river, but we didn't want to get too far down river and miss it. Look at the size of it, just this huge thing, I guess, just dumped here by glaciers. Wow, should climb up on it. Wow, can really get a good view out on all the surrounding tundra from up here. Cool. Just trying to be extra careful because like crashing myself out here would suck. But it's pretty, it's not exactly Alex Honnold feet yet.
A lot of bugs here.
Well, that was definitely worth the search and the trek to find Prayer Rock. I actually got a chance to climb up on top of it and get a cool view of the surrounding landscape and leave some tobacco there for, you know, just an offering, I guess, or a traditional gesture. And tobacco was, still is, of course, tobacco is a sacred plant. And now we are going to jump back into the canoes and head downriver. And the way things are going, there's a good chance we'll be able to finish the river today, but lots of rapids to come. With Deaf Rapids, it's the last, it's like close to the mouth, so it's going to be affected by the tides. So you want to hit it at high tide or sometime after high tide, because that high tide's the tidal maximum and is when the tide starts going out. But if you hit it at low tide or sometime after, the tide, you know, will be coming in, and then
It will create like crazy weird waves.
Exactly, yeah. So like the current of the river will be crashing into the incoming tide and make the waves way bigger.
Also, there might be like a ton of rapids where there wouldn't be. Well, we are just approaching sort of the final descent, if you will, of the Seal River into Hudson's Bay. The current is starting to pick up, and we're entering a maze of islands because the river essentially like branches through all these islands like this, and there's just like rapids throughout every channel. And our river notes kind of mark certain channels, and of course, you know, the individual couldn't have really scouted every single little channel, so it makes sense to follow where the notes are. And So we're just going to turn on our GPSs just because we have them, and then we can like kind of follow exactly where we want to be. There's several routes down. We're actually taking, I think, the route that's maybe a little more challenging, because it does look like you might be able to avoid a section of the last rapid, possibly, but that's the route we're gonna go. And just to help navigate some of those islands, we're gonna use the comms, or not the comms, the GPS. Wow, dude, that's like a house-sized boulder. Maybe car-sized. There is the ocean. You can see out into the ocean, but you can hear Death Rapids, the last obstacle before we reach the ocean.
On the left!
Don't really know for sure why they're called Death Rapids, probably because they're deafening. getting the 12 gauge out with slugs because there could be a polar bear just lurking and watching us in the bushes here. Scouting the final rapid, Death Rapids, and walked through that, and it just got worse and worse and taller, and we were just in a swamp. It was absolutely miserable and really thick bugs. So now we've come further down river. We're gonna try to hop along these boulders and get a look at the rapid around the corner. We started a little higher up because just in case we needed, like even here, we'll need to kind of paddle up river first, so we didn't want to be too far down and have to wade up. But you know, we'll see what happens. So far, this is a better plan. But the high water is making it kind of challenging. Looks like there might be a route down the left, just like the notes say.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, a few bugs. Uh-oh. Oh no. If we can't get left of that hole, this is going to be a portage. That is quite the turmoil. One, two, three.
The tide's probably out, which means we're hitting it at like the perfect time.
Picking to the right of the island.
Way over to here, yeah.
Yeah, so run this.
Yeah, eddy out.
Yeah. Run very over to there.
To there.
That's a line of boulders too, but maybe.
Yeah, to right there. You see that huge boulder? Just to the left of that.
Should be
I'm
alright.
sure this is bigger than we think. Like I think I see some rocks and like ledgy type shit over there.
Right. That massive, huge frowning hole you see, we're gonna come down on the left, close to shore, and try to miss it. Hopefully we don't get swept into it. A lot of the times when there's a lot of current, something that big, the current really pushes you towards it because that's where the water's going. So we'll see.
Well, we're gonna try to sneak this rapid on the left. There's some huge stuff in the middle and the right too, but looks like on the left we can get down there, miss all the big stuff, and do a boulder dodge for an epic finish. So we're gonna go hop in the boats and give her. I can see Hudson Bay from here, and it looks like the tide's out. So I think we're hitting this at the perfect time. If the tide was coming in, it might be like way bigger than
Everything pushing you in there. But if you stay
I see a route down right here, Ted. lucky. So far, so good. I got my shotgun up top, loaded with the safety on, so all I have to do is unbutton this, pull it out of the scabbard, and shoot. This is a waterproof floating scabbard. It's actually made in Alaska, so it's made for situations just like this. Great way to carry your firearm in that scabbard, and also a great way to have it at the ready right on top like that. I've been keeping it under the spray deck, but in a reachable place too. So anyways, we just ran the last serious rapid on the Seal River. Below us, we have a couple boulders to dodge, and you know, fair to say some class 1-2s, but that is pretty much it. It's late in the evening. We were worried about this rapid, but we were able to kind of sneak by it. We didn't feel like trying to hit some of the bigger stuff with roving polar bears all around and being late in the day. And we managed to do a more technical run down the left side and sneak the rapid for an awesome completion right here in this eddy. So we're super excited. And now a couple more easier rapids that we're gonna follow all the way to a small cabin or shack that's gonna give us some protection from the polar bears while where we are gonna wait for our boat pickup and hopefully see some polar bears, maybe from the safety of the cabin. So super amazing moment of the trip, but it's really gonna kind of all come together when we get to the cabin, and finally when we have that big boat ride way down the coast all the way to Churchill, and that's when we can say we've completed this thing. But definitely an incredible milestone, and the last milestone, the last major obstruction of the trip is done here on day 21. And we're ahead of schedule too. So that's awesome. And look at the bugs on my hand. See what I do for you guys? I'm holding the camera, doing an interview, getting swarmed just to share stuff with everyone.
Late in the day, it's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock, but hopefully we can get there, and maybe we have tonight and tomorrow and the next night. And then we're getting picked up by our shuttle driver, weather permitting. Hopefully we'll be able to view some polar bears from a safe environment at that time.
Well, I'm just gonna ferry across it for anything for fun. Does look like there's a lot of rocks here. count your chickens before they're hatched. Holy shit. Our river note said that was an easy class 1, 2, but it turned out to be raging. One of the most fun. Yeah! Yeah, my dog! Oh, had dumped. I might walk past. I think you'll be okay. Grab your throw bag! Grab your throw bag! Just pull up on this island! I'm not gonna make it! I'm not gonna make it! Just keep yanking it! Dude! I'm exhausted! Help me out! Just keep going! Stay with it! Dude, man! I can't really do anything! You'll get it! Just pull it into the eddy! Chickens before they're hatched, eh?
I should have just ran it left.
Oh, okay.
No, I dumped in the hole.
Oh, okay.
See, and so I had the lining rope, which I figured was good enough.
Yeah.
It came up spooled nicely.
All's well that ends well.
Don't celebrate till the fat lady sings. I don't know what that goes, how that saying goes. It's not over till the fat lady sings. So we think we run the last drop. We're like, yay, we finished it. But the high water, our notes just said it was a class 1, 2, kind of get right to avoid some rocks. We do that. I see a channel on the left. I'm like, oh, I should go left, but last run and I followed Jim, which turned out to be a mistake because he went over and just like, I guess didn't realize how big it was, and then ended up picking a obviously better line than me and just bombing into some stuff, and I saw, whoa, that looked pretty big. But when I went in there, it was like way bigger than I had seen, or I hit it a little too far left. I missed the first like huge hole, and then all of a sudden right after me there was this another massive hole I didn't see, and I went into it kind of just a little too sideways. So a hole is basically foaming water, like it's not a wave that goes over, it's like foaming back in, and it's very aerated with a lot of air bubbles, and so it kind of holds you and fills you full of water, and it's curling back upriver. So when I went into it sort of sideways, it tried to tip me upriver, and I did a big like lean out high brace, but it just wasn't enough. My paddle just kind of squished into the air bubbles and like almost saved myself, held it, but it just tipped me over. And you know, and I was just like, oh no, like, and tried to swim in to get to this island before getting pushed around. I had my paddle in my hand and it was like exhausting because I was pulling the canoe and holding the paddle, but the current was like, because it was a double blade, the current was like pushing on both blades and stopping me from swimming as well. Probably could have done it more efficiently, but that's what happened. And unfortunately, when I missed the island, the canoe scraped kind of on the rock, and I lost my GoPro in the front of the canoe, and that camera's gone. It just like ripped off my little magic arm that's there. The magic arm held, but the plastic clip and the GoPro completely ripped off, and I lost it. So pretty devastating. That's kind of the worst part of the whole thing. And you know, but luckily I just changed the card, so I only lost that footage and of course the GoPro. So, but wild ride to end the Seal River here. I suppose it's still not over yet, so you know, I shouldn't get too excited just yet. I mean, I've learned my lesson there. Get there. You see how you could have just come down just to the left of the island? Yeah. First I was gonna go there.
It's getting dark, but we're close. We just can't see it. So we gotta really make sure we stay left. Maybe it's just on the point right there. What? Left. Looks like we can just sneak through. Oh. This was not on the agenda for this evening. Probably didn't take the most direct route, but it is what it is. Beautiful sunset though, gorgeous evening, and with any luck we get there before we're dodging polar bears in the dark. Wow, so beautiful. Just the birds are incredible.
Absolutely beautiful right now. See the cabin! Yeah! What a finish! Look at this sunset! Unbelievably beautiful!
Could not be a more picture perfect finish. Incredible. Of course, again, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. We can't get back to Churchill by powerboat if there's big waves, so we still have weather, but we are pretty much done the paddling portion of this expedition, and it feels freaking amazing. We just did some pretty serious stuff. Wow, and it is so freaking beautiful right here. We're there. Wow. What a crazy finish to the trip. Epic. Oh, polar bear. Oh, polar bear.
3 of them. It has 2 cubs, Jim. Are you serious? Yeah, it has 2 cubs.
She sees us.
Jim?
Not really, but there's gonna be, it's pretty cool. They're not exactly far. It's not like we're divided by deep water.
No, we're downwind from it, so
It probably,
if the wind was going the other way, it would smell us.
It already looked over directly at me. I'm pretty sure it already knows we're here. But I don't think it's gonna get aggressive unless we like put ourselves between the cubs and all that.
So there's a polar bear over there with 2 cubs. When they have cubs, we've run into a black bear with 2 cubs before, and we did some of the stuff to scare it and shot a warning shot, and it just pissed it off and charged us. So you got to be careful. We don't want to, obviously, if it's a safe distance now, but we should get in the cabin. But amazing, so cool.
Yo, the tide's out, so we gotta haul our stuff up to the cabin, and then we're gonna have to carry our canoes up to the cabin too, or they'll get swept away when the tide comes in. But a bit of a moonscape here. First thing I saw after I climbed out of the canoe is a mother polar bear and 2 cubs not too far away, and that was pretty cool. They greeted us a safe distance away. She probably knows we're here, but I don't think she's gonna gun for us or anything. But yeah, 3 polar bears we saw. And Ted saw a wolverine earlier in this trip, so seeing a wolverine and polar bears, that's some bucket list shit right there, man. Looks like there's a wood stove in here, and even some wood. Would you look at that? Oh geez, don't step on the whoa, whoa, whoa. board with nails in it. That's to keep the bears out. Right there, you gotta move that. The door got nails all over it. Here's the shack. Jim's just opening it. Housekeeping! Don't believe him, it's a polar bear. A polar bear. Here we go. Wow, epic wood stove in here. Of course it's black.